So there's a new chapter, Divisions of the Creation. Vidura is inquiring from Maitreya. And he's specifically asking, please let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of all the planetary inhabitants. Brahma is described as the grandfather of all planetary inhabitants. Now, how is it that Brahma is the grandfather? This applies, of course, to the beginning of creation. Brahma creates the Prajapatis, and the Prajapatis create the species. So, Brahma becomes the grandfather. Just like Manushya, human species, is created by Manu. But Manu is created by Brahma. In the beginning, only Brahma is there, nobody else is there. Brahma is born from the lotus flower emanating from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. But in later kalpas, Brahma's day, when the night is over, Brahma is not exactly taking birth, he is actually waking up. But that waking up also is like his taking birth only. He appears on the lotus flower. And creation he has to do. Every day he has to do the creation. Sometimes people wonder, what does Brahma do after creating so many millions of years? There's no need for creation. But actually, every day morning Brahma has to create his day. Why? Because the previous night, all the living entities in their subtle body, they enter into the body of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And they lie there, dormant, without any activity, without any awareness of the surroundings. They kind of go to sleep. Prabhupada describes it like they go to sleep. So Brahma has to create every day. Now, one thing about Brahma's creation is, he created the bodies of living entities from his own body and mind. Because Brahma is alone. So, the Supreme Lord has made arrangement in this world that some people, they can give birth to offspring by the designated method, just like humans and mammals. The male and female combine, and then there is an embryo, and that embryo develops in the mother's womb, and the child after development will come out of the mother's womb. Then there are plants, trees. How do they procreate? Udbija, seed. They create or they multiply by seed. And birds, reptiles, how do they procreate? Andaja, by egg. So embryo, seed, egg, and fourth is only 4 methods of procreation for the living beings. Perspiration, fermentation of a solution. It's like germs. Immediately they multiply wherever there is some solution fermenting. You have water stagnant somewhere, so many germs will grow. Take advantage and multiply. You keep some vegetable and it starts decaying, so many germs will multiply. So, fermentation. It's called, Sanskrit I forget. So, this is the way of procreation for the living entities in general. But Brahma, he has got special way of actually procreating. He produces offspring from his own body and from his mind. Now, body we know. From the body, new offspring is born. But from the mind, we never heard. So that is unique to Brahma. Narada was born as the mental son of Brahma, from the mind of Brahma. The Kumaras were born from the mind of Brahma. The great sages, Saptarishis, they take birth from the mind of Brahma. They are all very exalted beings. Very exalted beings. So their appearance or their birth in this world is through the mind of Brahma. And Vidura is asking about Brahma's creating the bodies of the... Of course, Brahma can only create the body. Creation here refers to the body. The spirit soul is eternal. Spirit soul does not die. Spirit soul is never born. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. So it's only the body. So body is created by Brahma. But the body has got limited duration. Always body has got limited duration. Now, Vidura is requesting Maitreya, O greatly learned one. Maitreya is greatly learned. Kindly eradicate all my doubts and let me know of all that I have inquired from you from the beginning to the end. Vidura has asked many questions. It is in an earlier chapter. Just like Parikshit asked many questions. And Vidura is requesting Maitreya, kindly eradicate all my doubts. This knowledge of creation, of how the world is created, this knowledge is very, very difficult to obtain from somebody who speculates. Just like we know the speculators, they say Big Bang theory. What is the origin of the universe? Big Bang theory. There are so many theories like this. And they keep doing some experiment also. So many different experiments. But the fundamental problem with all these methods is they are inherently have got defect. They inherently have got defect. Whereas the method of Shabda, that is the Vedic knowledge being transmitted through the parampara system from the beginning of creation, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye, Krishna first instructed Brahma. That knowledge coming down, Brahma spoke the same knowledge to Narada and many others. So that knowledge coming down, and such an authority who is in parampara, having heard the knowledge from the right source, speaks the same knowledge. This knowledge is perfect. This knowledge is perfect. It is not speculative knowledge. It is not experimental knowledge. Of course, experimental knowledge, there is a limitation how much experiments a person can do. Speculation also, it is limited to the mind. There are verses in the Bhagavatam where Brahma admits, even though he is the topmost living being within this created world, even he cannot speculate about God. He cannot speculate about God. God is unlimited personality, and our limited mind cannot conceive or speculate or theorize about God in that way. Not possible. So when it comes to subject matter of God, or even God's activities, one of which is His creation. Who is the original creator of this world? It is God. It is not Brahma. It is none of the Prajapatis. It's none of the living entities. No. Living entities may be secondary creators. Not maybe, they are secondary creators, if at all they create. But they are endowed with the power to produce offspring by the Supreme Lord. That is the arrangement. Brahma is empowered by the Lord to create the Prajapatis. So, ultimately it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna or his expansions, his incarnations. They are the original creators. Vishnu, different Vishnus, all of them are actually not different from Krishna. So their activity is completely transcendental. Janma karma cha me divyam, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. His birth or his appearance and his activities are all transcendental. So anybody who is non-devotee has no access to transcendence. This is the fundamental understanding. All subject matter of transcendence remains unknown to somebody who is a non-devotee. And in the absence of transcendental understanding, they can only speculate, theorize, perform experiments, have discussions, philosophical discussions. But that's not going to reveal the truth about God or His creation, His activities, His transcendental position. Nothing is going to be known. Now in speculation also, some people, they try to take help of the Vedas for speculating. There are speculators who don't refer the Vedas. And then there are speculators who refer to the Vedas. Example of speculation of one who refers to the Vedas. Can you give an example? Mayavadis. The philosophers who have put forward the philosophy of Kanada Rishi. He is studying the Vedas and he is coming to the conclusion that Kana or atom is the ultimate truth, source, ultimate source of everything. Kana, everything is coming from atom. Everything is a combination of atom. And he is studying the Vedas for that. He has written books on this philosophy of atomic philosophy, atomic theory. Then Karma Mimamsa philosophy, also based on the Vedas. So this, whether somebody refers the Vedas or does not refer the Vedas, as long as they're speculating, they can never understand, they can never arrive at the truth behind the creation or the truth about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They can never know or understand. So, the only way to know or understand is through parampara. Vidura is approaching Maitreya because Maitreya is an authority. Therefore, he is addressing Maitreya as, "O greatly learned one." Bahuvittama. Bahuvittama means he is very learned. And he is also addressed as Bhagavan, O powerful one. Maitreya is also very powerful. Powerful in what way? He has performed lot of tapasya. Tapasya, which is recommended austerity in the scriptures. Such tapasya leads to enlightenment. So even we have to undergo tapasya if we want enlightenment about spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge. Of course, for us the tapasya is very, very simple. We have to chant properly 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra, japa, and we have to follow the 4 regulative principles, minimum. This is the minimum. This much if we do properly, this tapasya is enough for us to get enlightenment about spiritual subject matter, about God, about the creation, everything. But tapasya is a must. Without tapasya, not possible. Speculation or experiment or different methods of theorizing, that's not going to help. So, Vidura is inquiring from Maitreya, and Prabhupada says that Maitreya was the right person to reply to all the points of inquiries. He is the right person because he is learned, he is powerful, he has performed tapasya, he is coming in parampara. Maitreya's parampara has been mentioned in an earlier chapter. So, he is the right person. And Prabhupada says, one must be confident about the qualifications of his teacher. One should not approach a layman for replies to specific spiritual inquiries. A layman means one who is having maybe knowledge of common sense. Such common sense knowledge is not useful for knowing or understanding spiritual subject matter. You can't apply logic, common sense, or any material learning to spiritual subject matter. That is not possible. Experiment, speculation, all this fail to enlighten a person in spiritual subject matter. The only way is through bhakti. Only through bhakti. Because bhakti reveals Krishna, and Krishna is the ultimate source of all transcendental knowledge. So, Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyam. Even if one studies the Vedas, the ultimate goal of the Vedas is to understand who is Krishna. Because Krishna is the ultimate source. Janmadyasya yataha. Krishna is the ultimate source of everything and everyone. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate. Bhagavad Gita again, Krishna says, declares, he is the ultimate source of everything. So we have to know the source. We have to know the source. And to know the source, there is only one method. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyacha asmi tatvataha. In truth, if you want to know the ultimate source of everything, you have to take to bhakti yoga. And such bhakti yoga is possible to be practiced only under suitable guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. It may be possible for somebody to study some literature without guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Somebody may practice some hatha yoga without a bona fide spiritual master. But bhakti is not possible without the bona fide spiritual master's guidance. Not possible. So even among so-called devotees, there are people who independently try to practice bhakti. Prabhupada particularly points out sahajiyas or so many apasampradayas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur identified 32 apasampradayas. They are all independent persons, sentimental persons. They have their own opinion, their own theory, their own understanding, their own ideas, feelings, and they live with that wrong understanding, they propagate that, they seem to be even absorbed in the knowledge by their own methods of understanding. They get completely immersed in that. It's like this Sahajiyas, they chant Hare Krishna. And then they go into ecstasy. And that ecstasy, it is actually a mental exercise, an emotional exercise. But that becomes a habit for them. So every time they chant, they will be in ecstasy. But that ecstasy is not real ecstasy. So Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasam Sindhu has given what are the characteristics of a person who has advanced in bhakti and come to the platform of ecstasy or bhava. This is very important. You see? What does he say? Rupa Goswami says a person who has made real advancement and come to the stage of bhava, he is always avyarthakalatvam. He does not waste even 1 minute in any material activities. He is 24 hours all the time completely engaged in spiritual activities. He has got special attraction for chanting and hearing about Krishna. Sada namagane ruchi. Namagane ruchi. Pritistad vasati sthale. He likes to stay in a place where Krishna has performed his pastimes or Krishna's devotees are residing. So these, of course, there are many like this. Rupa Goswami has listed. If you apply this criterion, that is how Bhaktivinoda Thakur is identifying 32 Apasampradayas. They fail this test. They fail this test. Just like secretly somebody may be engaging in sense gratification, or they are unable to exhibit their so-called ecstasy by engaging in some devotional service 24 hours a day. That's not possible. You see? A conditioned soul cannot engage in devotional service 24 hours a day. Not possible. That's why Rupa Goswami says, in the beginning, neophyte devotees should not imitate advanced devotees. So we have to take proper rest, we have to take proper prasadam. We should chant the prescribed number of rounds. Somebody tries to imitate Haridas Thakur, I will chant 3 lakh names every day. That is not possible for conditioned souls. It's only for liberated souls. Of course, one can make advancement and gradually increase the number of rounds and come to this stage by proper advancement. That is possible. But before making actual advancement, it is not possible to imitate. So, bhakti is not a subject matter of imitation. Therefore, it is very important for somebody who is serious about devotional service or bhakti to take the guidance, shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. And only under his guidance, strictly following his instructions, one can make advancement. One can make advancement only by that method. There is no other way. So everywhere in the scriptures, this stress is given. Search out for a bona fide spiritual master, inquire from him, serve him, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. They are described as tattvadarshinaha, tattvadarshibhihi. In many places in the Bhagavad Gita, this description is there. In the Bhagavatam also, it is there. Tattvadarshibhihi. This science, complete science of Bhakti Yoga is described by Rupa Goswami. He has written for our guidance, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Upadeshamrita. There he is giving instructions how you should approach a bona fide spiritual master. What are his qualifications? How do you serve him? How do you inquire from him? Just like Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring from Shukadeva Goswami, Vidura is inquiring from Maitreya. We learn how to inquire. We may not be competent to inquire even about spiritual subject matter. But the inquiries are done by great devotees, by sincere devotees. Vidura, Parikshit Maharaj, Shaunaka Rishi, they have done the inquiries. So we are very fortunate if we study the Srimad Bhagavatam. The inquiries are there, the answers are there, the standards are there, everything is there in the Bhagavatam. This is the unique position of Bhagavatam. So one who studies the Bhagavatam under proper guidance, then one is guaranteed to get proper understanding. Therefore, here it is mentioned that Vidura is inquiring from Maitreya, and Maitreya will begin to reply to the questions of Vidura. And he is very much enlivened. It is not that he considers it as an obligation or a burden. Maitreya does not think, oh, so many questions he is asking. No, they are very, very important and relevant, and he is enlivened to speak. And so, it is not that he is thinking it's a burden. No, he is enlivened. So, that indicates that Vidura's questions are very, very important and relevant. So, Vidura's answers will be from the verse 4. We'll see in the next class. Stop here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.